Before we begin, this story contains depictions of violence and dark themes that some listeners may find disturbing. It is intended for a mature audience. This is a work of fiction. All characters, events, and incidents are products of the author's imagination. Viewer discretion is advised. The darkness was there all over around the place, well, for a little some time, until we entered in a gigantic cave. It was lighted up with fire, rather grandly. The stones were spread all over around the place, like the roots, and there were rooms and stairs had been carved into it. As we entered in there, the boat has came to a stop near the shore, and has been getting off the boat. We were just moving from one spot to another, been headed up from there. At the top, in the middle of it, there's a sort of dome has been made up there. We were headed right up there, and as we entered in there, a cold breeze went right through me. I have started to shiver in there. I looked at the and asked her about it. She did not say a word there, no, rather she stand there in silence, been looking forward from there, that place. It looked like someone's room. There is a bed laying there, there were books all over around the place, and a study table has been laying there too, and beyond that table, there's someone has been sitting there, not visible clearly, as it was dark in that space, not enough light, but there sure is someone has been sitting there, as Hard has been looking right into that direction. A little pause was there, before Hard speak up. I need your help with something, or rather he does. She pointed right towards me, as I stand there in silence, didn't know what to do there, how to act. I couldn't see anything there. There's something that he has, we don't know what that is, but it looks like a kind of compass, but I have never seen anything like that. Thought you might know something about it. The silence was there after she has said those words there, and then, a moment later, there's an arm being stretched out of that darkness. Give it to me, she said. I was confused for a moment before I realized what she has been asking for, as I took it out and gave it to her, and she put at the open palm of that arm. It was rather odd looking. It was dark and has been covered with scales. It looked humane, but I wasn't sure whether it was wholly humane or not. The arm went back in the darkness as the compass was put onto it, and there's nothing for a moment or so. There's nothing but just the silence all over around the place, before there came a growl and a figure came out of that darkness. Was it humane, or was it something else? Well, it sure do have a structure of a human, but was entirely covered with scales. It has a tail, and the face. It was a walking horror show. Her eyes were round and been popping out. They were rather shiny and were red. She has no lips, no cheeks. Her fangs has been growing out, with her head being covered with spikes, and when I saw that, my heart started to thump. I did manage to stop myself from releasing a scream, as I stand there in silence, and just stared at her, as she was looking right into my eyes. Where did you get it? She asked me in a rather distorted voice. I gulped, as my throat has been drying right there, and the way she was looking right into my eyes, I was getting a bit scared there, but I speak up. I told her, where did I get her, and I even told her about the light of Dorado, and as I mentioned that, her pupils were grew in size, she growled, and the expression she has on her face, I can tell that she knows about it. Do you know where that is? The light of Dorado. Can you lead me to it? I asked her, as her been standing there in silence. She was lost in her thoughts right there. As I started to insist her, I sure was a little scared there of her, but I need to know what she knows, and after a little pause, she speak up. You can't go to the light of Dorado, as it didn't exist, neither does this thing. She rose the compass in her hand, and been hearing these words. I was a little confused there. What do you mean by that they didn't exist? I questioned her, as she started to move away from there, been uttering a word there. I started to follow her. Hard was walking along with me, been getting away from there. She went to the another room a little far from there. Light of Dorado is a celestial sphere that exists somewhere in the space. We were in a room, and as she was speaking, she was looking for something, not sure what, which hasn't been found yet, and people are trying to find it for centuries. I heard her. So, it's not a place anywhere on this planet. She laughed a little at this. Oh, it is, she said, as she turned towards me and smiled a little at this, and then opened a chest. History believes that the light of Dorado actually acts as a map to a specific spot on Earth. No one visits this place, it hasn't been discovered yet, and over the years, there have been theories about it, a lot of them to tell. Some believe there's a city of gold, some believe it's Xanadu, and others believe it's a paradise. Inferno, upside down, there are theories, but no answers are here. She came forward with the book and laid it on the table. Whatever that is, it didn't exist at this time, and the thing that you think is a compass, it's something else, and it's from the future, she said as she opened the book. Look for something in there, and as she found it, she turned the book towards us, and the page that has been opened there, in there, there's a drawing has been made, a compass-like thing, that looked like what I have, and along with it, there's something has been written there too, but the language in which it has been written, well, I couldn't understand it. It was something else, some entirely foreign language. As I saw it, I stared at it for a moment or so. What it say here? What exactly is it? I questioned as she smiled a little. That's something which shouldn't we exist in this world, or to tell, in this time, this a thing of future, centuries from now to tell. I heard her, and I was a little confused there with what she just said there. What do you mean by it's from the future? How could that be possible? And if this thing is from future, how is it in this book? I was just confused there and I needed answers. Well, it's because this book is from future. I found that book a long time ago. It's been in the world for centuries, traveled through time. So is this. A little pause was there. I heard her, and been standing there in silence. I was just trying to understand everything that she has said there. So, what is this thing? I questioned her, as she sighed, been lost in her thoughts for a moment or so. This is a device which is used in future to tell time. I heard it. We already know how to tell time. It's the sun and the stars that tells the time. We don't need a device for that. She laughed, shook her head a little. You are right, but as far as what I know, in the future, time works a little different from what it works now. In the future, both day and night were divided into 12 different parts respectively. Each of these figures shows a part of the day. She stand there and told me everything that she knows about it, and I heard it all in silence, and as I was listening to her, I was just wondering, how did my friend get its hand on such a thing, and knows about the light of Dorado, and as I was thinking about it, I end up being a little more confused than before. I sure did. And what now? I heard everything she said, and in the end, she mentioned something else there. This is damage. These legs, they are supposed to be moving in circles, and they're supposed to be 3 legs and not just 2. I heard her, and I was still lost in my thoughts for a while, before I mentioned my dream to her. What dream? She asked me. There's this one dream which I have been having since I was a kid, and I started telling her that, and then, that light I saw in my dream, I believe that light is the light of Dorado. She heard me, as she stand there in silence, been lost in her thoughts for a moment or so, and that was the place my friend has asked me to meet. She sighed, looked a little confused there. She stands there in silence, and just stared at the book, been thinking about something there. She took her time with it. Well, she speaks up after a few moments. As far as what I can think of here, there are 2 things. Either there are 2 different light of Dorado, as I have never heard of what you have seen in your dream, or that place you saw in your dream is the island that light of Dorado leads to. Again, I was stuck here. What now? What should I do now? So, what should I do now? I asked her, as I myself was there in a state of confusion, and then I asked her if she can repair this thing, and the answer was rather disappointing there, but there's something I might help you. My eyes were stuck on her. You said that you are having that dream since childhood, and dreams don't repeat themselves, but when they do, it means they are trying to say something there. There must be something in your dream, I clue, or something that might be familiar to you. You might have never noticed it, but it might be there, and that is something I can help you with. I heard her, and without even hearing what is she going to do, I agreed to it. And she was rather happy when I said I will do it, and soon after I said that, we were headed out of there, been following her, where she was taking us, and what she is going to do, I don't know any of it, and that is a little scary there. So, I tried asking her what she is going to do, but she did not utter a word about it. No, rather she just asked me to follow her. And after being walking and going up and down on stairs, we entered in a room. This one looks like a bedroom, and it was one. It was her bedroom, and it was her bedroom, and as soon as we were in there, she asked me to lay down on the bed, and close my eyes. Been hearing these words, I was a little concerned about myself.